Hey, thanks everybody for joining me for this little discussion. Just want to make sure I mute that. Yep, there we go. And everybody wants to introduce themselves. And my name is Christian Buckley. I am the founder and CEO of Collab Talk, and a former Red Bus Tour participant. And Tracy, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. So Tracy van der Schijf from the sunny Joburg, SA. Also a former twice Red Bus participant. Over to you, Al.
Good evening. I'm not Christian Buckley. My name is Alistair Pigeon. I am a recovering Red Bus journeyman, coming to you from warm Johannesburg. So yeah, I've got a lot of apparel on and it's getting quite hot.
Cool. I'm Warren Marks. I'm from AvePoint in not sunny Johannesburg. It's actually late at night in Johannesburg. One of the Red Bus drivers. Nice to meet you all.
That's right. Yeah, Warren. I mean, I don't. Well, wasn't tracking like time, but of who is driving the most. It's like you and Johan were just kind of the split, the primary ones there. But no, Alistair.
All those times you felt unsafe, Johan was driving.
Yep. So for those that don't know what we're talking about, so I know this is the second time that the Red Bus Tour. It was the AvePoint, and we're wearing this. These are awesome caps, by the way, Alistair. So and we've got 2 and 2, perfect. The two that have the official Red Bus, the AvePoint Red Bus hats, and then we have two of the. I've got mine right here of the office caps here, which were a hot commodity. Let me tell you, at the SharePoint Saturdays, everybody wanted those caps. But this was an adventure. So my first time participating, but it was, we went from, so we had 3 SharePoint Saturday events in South Africa, in Durban, Johannesburg, and then this last Saturday was Cape Town. And in between Johannesburg and Cape Town, we drove down the center of the country and did some stops. We did some midweek events in
Bloemfontein.
Yep.
Yeah, no, you got to let him try and say it on his own. It's just
Bloemfontein. I know, it's just why I'm messed up with that. Just Bloemfontein. And then we were in East London and then Cape Elizabeth. And then made ourselves.
It's going from bad to worse.
What did I get wrong? Cape Elizabeth?
Cape Elizabeth. Port Elizabeth.
Whatever.
We should get Michael Knoll to pronounce it.
I can't hear you. What? Oh, the headset's on. Yeah, so we went and did these events. We stayed at, I would have to say that only one of the places did we all fear for our lives. The other ones were beautiful, but that one, I would, if we lost one person murdered in the middle of the night by cannibals, I think I would have just gone and be like, I think those are good numbers. Let's get out of here.
In all fairness, you wouldn't have known that I was murdered because I would have been buried in the flower arrangement in my room.
Yeah. But we would have, but we had Johan to drive, so we would have been okay.
Yeah, you would have been good. You would have feared for your lives, but you would have been okay.
Yeah. So I mean, so all of you participated last year. Why don't you describe, like, to talk about what it is? Maybe Warren, why don't you talk about what we did? What was the event?
So I didn't participate last year. This was the first one for me as well. But yeah, it was a lot of driving, a lot of giving back to the community, getting to know each other quite intimately, and I did find out one thing that I can confirm for sure, and it's a life lesson that I'll never forget.
You cannot karaoke.
I will never sing karaoke again. I can promise you that.
You were brilliant.
I'm better at singing directions. It's like a talking GPS, but that's not as good as it gets.
Well, that was hilarious. The two is that we bought that thing. Like half. What city did we buy that in? Where was that?
East London.
East London, yeah.
And it lasted like 15 minutes.
But it was a brilliant 15 minutes.
Yes, it was. No, it was all those sound bites. We captured the sound bites, and the device was no longer needed because we had the sound bites. And thankfully, towards the end of this, Warren has agreed to sing and basically to recapture some of the magic. Warren, right?
This mic's not working so well. I don't know what's going on.
So Tracy and Alistair, let's talk about it compared to, like, I mean, it's the second year of doing this, but what was different, and what were your takeaways?
Tracy, you want to go first?
Yeah, so that I get a chance. First big difference logistically wise was that we were 9 people instead of 7, and that makes quite a big difference on a taxi bus.
Yeah.
So
there were seven people this year, 9 last year, right?
Yes. And then also, of course, with Vlad on the bus and Seb, which brought down the average age to 16 on the bus last year.
The EQ dropped considerably from, or I said rose this year, yes.
So because of that, we listened to a lot less Depeche Mode. But also great events. I mean, it was just a lot of driving. I think I've got to be careful about the driving now. I'm going to just give over to Alistair. We do share a country, so I've got to be very careful with what I say.
Yeah.
Is it my turn? My turn.
Yes.
Is this thing on? Hello.
It is. Hello.
Hello. So yes, Warren, what you forgot to mention is that the road trip's the brainchild of Alistair Pugin.
Sorry. How could we forget the fine print?
The fine print, yes. It's always in the fine print. So, yes, EQ levels, emotional constipation, which we had a lot of that last year. This year, we didn't have that. Not a lot of earache this year. Yeah, no earache. I think the messaging is maturing a lot since last year. We now, I think in version 3, which I'll do next year on the back end of hopefully some of the Microsoft executives from Seattle coming out for Community Saturday, we'll be able to amplify the message much better, which is important to us. It's about that existential reach to community, to people that can't come to the larger cities. And we're getting better at being able to, we've already started planning in earnest for next year, and Ernest will be the name of the driver next year as well. Well, actually, and we won't have the problem that we had this year of one part of the vehicle not having any suspension and riding on 3 wheels for the most of the trip.
Just hold on one moment. Excuse me. Hold on one moment. Last year when you were driving, I was sitting in the back. Same story. That's a taxi bus thing.
Alistair just got earache.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, and we also have to play musical chairs with who gets to shotgun. And we can't have the same shotgun every day. Look, as South Africa. So
let me just say that every single day, you whiner. Every single time I ask, hey, anybody else want to sit up front? Every time, no, it's fine. And I'm not going to play this like emotional roller coaster of,
look, wow, we were threatened by Warren.
That's true.
By me. Yeah, we got this international guy with 22,000 followers on Twitter. There is no way that we are allowing him to sit in the back of the bus.
I'm very happy that I don't have to say these things, and you just know the pecking order, buddy.
No, it was. It was nice to see a bunch of it, and for those that have not been down to South Africa, and there were parts of it we kept talking about along the way. I think out of Johannesburg, I mean, a lot of it, and I kept remarking. I said it's like driving through Southern California. I mean, growing up in California and like the terrain and stuff. And then when you get down, I don't remember what part it was. It was well before the coast, though, when we started dropping down. It's when we were passing the animal parks where we started dropping down out of the hills, like down in where it really started changing. Of course, what was that place where we stopped to change the windshield wipers? What was that town?
Cape Elizabeth.
No, that wasn't Cape. Yeah.
No, man.
Port Elizabeth, yes. No,
that was on the way to East London. It was on the way to East London.
Yeah, it's quite a well-known town, man.
Let me just rephrase. That's the place Sorry, that's the place where we stopped where you couldn't change the wiper.
Just to be clear.
How many RT Pros or how many MVPs does it take to change a windscreen wiper?
We never found out. It's like licking to the center of a lollipop. We would know. The world will never know. But I mean, the terrain really started changing there. It was beautiful. My favorite part, though, I mean, I have to say, when we were driving, I think after Port Elizabeth and that segment of highway all the way to Cape Town, especially when we saw the bridge that I think we were all in agreement that there's no way, unless our bodies were dead and lifeless being thrown by our murderers over this bridge, that's the only way we're dropping from that bridge.
Yep.
But that bridge where they do a bungee jump, I'm like, nope. What's the bridge for that? What was that again?
Storms River.
No, not the Storms River. That was a smaller one, wasn't it?
No, Storms River is the big one.
What was the smaller one?
Blowkrans. That's Blowkrans.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah, like that one I actually thought it was high, but I thought, okay, it's kind of doable. When we saw the other one and so just so people understand, and I've never done bungee jumping anyway, but usually it's like bungee jump the distance and you go down by the ground or something and they kind of let you down. There's like a 4-second, 5-second free fall, and the full extension of the bungee, you're still not even halfway to the ground.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's just no way. I mean, you could skydive off of that bridge.
Yeah, you don't even hear people scream.
Yeah, you don't.
You just hear it,
right,
and that's it.
When they hit the ground.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. So, but it's so I know that there's a lot of I think we've all done similar type road trips, and I was remarking. In fact, I was talking with Jonty about it. Jonty Collins with so we had Johan Myberg and Jonty Collins were also with us, and Jody Roberts as well. And we were talking about doing road trips, and I did one years ago with Virgil Carroll. Where just the two of us, and it wasn't the big, show that we did around this, but we went and spoke at, I think, 4 different user groups and or 3 user groups and ended up at SharePoint Saturday, and then just kind of documented some of the activities there. But it was the same idea. These were the sessions that we were doing at the SharePoint Saturday and going to these communities where people just weren't able to make it down to the SharePoint Saturday, the larger event. And it's always a great experience in these smaller communities, talking with people, and getting into the specifics of their issues. And it's just a fantastic experience. And it was a lot of fun. And we visited one of the locations, apparently was haunted. So we had that going for us as well. Got to talk ghost stories.
Yeah, just a public service announcement. There were no ghosts harmed or people harmed in the road trip.
That's right.
So that, because we talked about murder and death and falling off a bridge, but no one actually had any of that. But yes,
nothing can be proven in a court of law.
Yeah. It was close, but it never happened.
I think we wanted to at one point, but
Look, we stayed in some sort of cannibalistic village.
Yeah.
Hills have eyes.
The hills have eyes.
Where you can bury people in what's supposed to be a water feature in a room. And then we could push people off bridges. We had an event in a haunted building in Port Elizabeth. Then we had to deal with wind that nearly blew us off the road for about 500 kilometers of the
That was
trip.
Warren's driving.
That was most of the trip. No, I think everybody was complaining it was Warren driving until somebody else took the wheel and went, oh my gosh, this is just, and we were all over the road. So it's like, as soon as we knew like a truck coming, I almost kind of just held on because I knew there was going to be this wobble after that.
Yeah, but
that's why we left in that seat.
Yeah, but that's the difference between Warren's driving and Johan's driving. Johan would drive past the truck and turn left and have a conversation with someone at the back of the van. Whereas,
and not flinch.
When Warren did it, Warren's sphincter actually contracted.
I could have cracked a cigar.
He went past.
He's not disagreeing with that. I know.
Not at all. Scariest time of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Warren drove like in Formula One, you actually lose weight. Every time Warren went past the track, he lost
And we blame the odor in the bus on the mustiness and wetness.
Yeah. That's when we stopped somewhere on the way to the Gariep Dam, that we drove over some foul, I think it was horse poo, and blamed everything on that because we didn't switch the aircon on, but it wasn't.
That's right. I forgot about that. I'm sure we got something that was a bit moist and it got up into the wheel well, and then it was right by an air conditioning intake or something that we had.
The funny thing is, we all kept on blaming each other. There was this continuous where someone blamed someone else about it.
However, it was a toilet break where Alistair learned a life lesson. We don't go to the toilets upwind.
Yeah, I struggle to be in the wind. It's like salmon swimming upstream.
And Alistair, wait, Alistair, did you see my photo from that stop?
Oh, there's a photo.
There's your back to the camera, way in the distance. But if you zoom, you're on camera doing that.
Right, trickling a bit down my left leg or something.
Yeah, so it's quality if you want to see that. So I did it. Yeah, I did a Foursquare check-in from middle of nowhere at some, was to call it a truck stop. It was just a nothing, side of the road stop, little park sign. And I went back under the guise of taking a picture of the stop to add to the Foursquare check-in. And there's Alistair doing his business over on the side.
Look, I like to go when it's quiet. You know, it's and back here,
it's raining on a sunny day.
Look at the size of that thing that he just ripped out.
This is a family programming here, Alistair. Come on. Yeah. So, any other takeaways from this? I mean, we had some ideas of other things that we could do. And I know before taking off, and Warren and I were talking about actually. There's Jonty and Johan and Warren and I at the last hotel after we dropped off Alistair and Tracy, and which, by the way, that place was awesome as well. Took a lot of pictures of that place for my wife. I was like it's like something straight out of the Pottery Barn catalog, and like she'd be in heaven there. But and we sat around talking about like different ideas for next year. So, but I think, as Alistair, to your point, I think if we can convince some senior executives from Redmond to come out and join it, I think it'll be fantastic for this next year. And for those that don't know what we're talking about, why would we invite them out next year? What's happening in South Africa?
So the continent, it's not so much about South Africa. The continent is actually receiving Microsoft data centers in 2 locations. So we'll have 2 availability zones. One in Johannesburg with the 3 clusters, Dynamics, Office 365, as well as Azure, and the same thing in Cape Town. So build the tower.
I'm trying to give like equal play to the 2 logos. There we go.
Yeah. So we're launching the Africa data centers for Microsoft. We still don't know what the actual date is, but we know that it will be probably mid-2018, and it's going to be a huge celebration for Microsoft for the one commercial partner model that they've introduced, as well as for consumers of the technology. We know that we've got over 11,000 tenants that are South African based, so it's probably sitting in Ireland. So there's definitely consumption. I don't know what the Azure numbers are or the Dynamics numbers are, but there's a lot of consumption going on. And we finally smashing down the barriers to entry when it comes to working with cloud technology. No longer is broadband an issue because everything will be local. Those are really cool cards, mate. Yeah.
Where they from?
Sorry. Wrong. And actually, and Alistair, to that point, so I mean, yeah. So Warren and I were able to get over and meet with some folks over at Microsoft and do an interview there. I'm not sure the timing of the video of that, not checked in with Laura on the results of that. And Warren, I don't know if you want to talk about that, who we spoke with and what
So we interviewed a whole bunch of people, and we created a lot of video content with interviews with thought leaders within the industry as well as Microsoft. So we interviewed Cliff DeWitt, who's the Chief Innovation Officer from Microsoft, or a big chunk of the local MVPs as well, to get guys' take on how the IT landscape is going to change once the data center lands. You know, my feeling is that everyone's aware that it's coming, but I don't think people really know what it means and what the benefit's going to be to be able to leverage off these cloud capabilities next year. So the idea is we want to put a series together to educate people, get takes and views from different thought leaders within the industry, and start building some hype, because this is a super, super exciting thing.
Very.
I don't know what that was. Yeah, so it's a super, super exciting thing that's coming. So, yeah, we want to create as much awareness as possible so people can take advantage.
It feels like I'm on the bus again.
Yeah, this is pretty much what it was like, folks.
Oh, it's from Adventure Time.
Yep, Finn the Human, who's wearing a Hyperfish t-shirt.
That's proper.
Yeah.
I wonder if Warren and Tracy know what Adventure Time is.
I don't know if I want to know what Adventure
No,
Time
you
is.
do. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I am
Your
a
kids will
huge...
start watching it, Warren. They'll get up at 4:30 a.m. with airs on DSTV to watch it.
It is fan. So I've got this, and where's my other... Oh, hey, I've got this one as well. Hang on.
Where's Cat Dog? Is it Cat Dog? What is it called?
Got my Finn the Human hat.
Your wife must really worry when you wear that out.
I think she bought this hat for me.
No, it's lovely. It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, look, it's. I think there's a lot to be excited about. You're right. It's having the data centers open is huge. I mean, for a long time, so South Africa has been primarily served out of the Dublin, Ireland data center. So having the two locations, it's. I mean, certainly it's going to help. It's the number one, as far as economy in the African subcontinent, but it's a benefit to all of the countries. But I mean, especially, hey, there you go. Especially though for South Africa, there's that opportunity for partners to go and develop services and solutions for the continent. So it's huge. I'm excited and hoping to be back over there for the course of SharePoint Saturdays and to participate with a lot of that activity. But I will do, regardless, I will do what I can to help push folks like Jeff Teeper to try and encourage them to get over there for this huge event. So it's very exciting.
We're actually having a community Saturday, not just a SharePoint Saturday. So we're taking 4 UGs and we merging them. Well, we're doing it with the UGs anyway. So we've got the Azure UG, we've got the Office 365 UG, we've got the traditional information worker SharePoint UG, and we've got the SQL community coming together to provide all our members with a conference spanning across the 4 technology stacks that it actually represents when we look at it holistically. So it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Huge. It's huge.
Yeah. Well, very, very cool, guys. Well, listen, I know it's late there. We've got, for me, for the West Coast, it's a 9-hour difference. It's only 8 with me. So, I'm not bothered
it's
by
Friday in South Africa right now.
Yeah, it is. But hey, thanks a lot for your time, and again, thanks a lot for inviting me out. It's been a blast. It was 3 years since I had been down to South Africa. I mean, I love visiting down there. Always have a great time. And I was thinking about that, Warren. Like your younger son, like he wasn't there.
Yeah, so, my life was pretty peaceful the last time you were here.
It's a lot of fun. So, Ashton and Owen are great just to sit and watch. And, as I always tell people, my baby is, he's 17 and taller than me. And he's got a pretty mellow personality. So all of the stunts that I do, as everyone knows, that I love embarrassing my kids. And he just kind of rolls with it. He's just kind of,
Oh, trust me,
whatever.
all 700 attendees of the events, including people in region like Port Elizabeth or Cape Elizabeth, as
Cape
it's now,
Elizabeth.
know about the way you treat your children.
Yes.
And Bloemfontein.
Yeah. That's great, guys. Feeling the love. So anyway, it was a lot of fun heading down there. I'm glad to be home for an entire day and a half. I'm flying out tomorrow morning. I know, Tracy, you did the digitally you joined another SharePoint Saturday, and but
It
I'm
was
going to,
Mauritius, yes.
that's right. And so next stops for everybody. So I'm heading tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. flight. I'm heading to Minneapolis for the largest SharePoint Saturday in the U.S. There's usually 550 to 600 attendees that are there. I don't know what registration numbers are like, so it's a great event. I'm very excited. And then I'm home for a week and a half, and then I'm doing SharePoint Saturday Vienna, where I'm keynoting, and then doing the European SharePoint Conference in Dublin, Ireland. And those are the major events that I have the rest of the year. Tracy, what are you doing next? What's up?
Well, we've got not a conference, but we've got the MVP and summit, well, in Dubai in about 2 weeks. So we're going up for
community connection, the MVP community connections.
There we go.
Very cool.
Christian.
Yeah, I'm doing mine in December. That's right. It's in Denver, so it's like a 45-minute flight, up and then down, and doing that for one day. I think December 5th. Any other events? Oh, and are we all doing the Collab 365 online event as well?
Yes, we might have a viewing party at Microsoft for it.
Cool.
But we were going to do Oslo, Vienna this year, but there's no direct flights on a Saturday from Oslo to Vienna.
Right. And
otherwise we'd have.
Yeah.
And that just ruined it. And we were going to do the SharePoint Saturday Kenya and Uganda coming up, but there's some unrest going on in Kenya. I listened to the news 2 days ago, and they've petitioned to cancel the elections, which is supposed to happen today, as in Thursday, which is, yesterday, the 26th. So some group petitioned to cancel the elections because they say that. So they've moved the SharePoint Saturday Kenya out by a few weeks, I think 3 or 4 weeks. But
2nd of December.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're hoping that that's going to happen, but we're not sure what's happening with the elections right now. And there's been some unrest in the country, so good luck and Godspeed to SharePoint Saturday Kenya and Uganda. But I'm glad that we've actually stopped conferencing because we're on the go.
Conference so much.
Yeah, we've been on, but people look at SharePoint Saturday and they go, it's 3 events. We've been on the go since before Ignite.
Right. I pretty much haven't slept a full night and been on the road since August when I went down to the Digital Workplace Conference in Sydney. And it's been back just constant go. And you know what? Before that, SharePoint Fest Seattle. That's right. That was like the full month of August. So I'm tired. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving here in the US and some downtime to work on the 4 research projects that Collab Talk is going, the quiet time with just 4 research projects. It'll be nice.
Tonight would have been the first night that I had a full night's sleep if you didn't ask me to, in the middle of the night, be on a video.
Yeah. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah. Alistair, how about you? What's next? What are any other events that you've got to round out the year? Where are you going to be?
No, quiet time, community connection in Dubai. That's about it. We were going to do Mauritius and Reunion, which finished today, but it's really just planning for next year. I mean, there's already 7 events lined up for next year, and that excludes the big ones that we're going to do. So next year is going to be even busier than this year.
Yep, agreed. And Warren, how about you? What do you have going on?
So I head to Cape Town on Monday. So in Cape Town next week, seeing some partners and customers. The week after, I'm in Durban. And then I think it's the week after that, I leave to Vancouver for a week and a bit, man.
That's right.
A little bit of travel to go, man. But super excited for Vancouver. Looking forward to it.
That's exciting. And I just want to throw this out there too. And of course, thank you to AvePoint for sponsoring the whole Red Bus tour. And I mean, we got some fantastic swag and things out of it too. And also for the events that we did with AvePoint partners with Carabina. It's great to see Troy again and everyone there. And the fact that I was able to personally confirm that the only employee with Mint is not Francois. So there are other employees at Mint. And, but I had to see it to believe it. So no, it was great to see everybody. Thanks a lot for staying up late and joining me for this. But let's just keep the discussion going. I'm actually going to reach out to you guys for some quotes for some articles. So look for that here in the next few days.
Christian,
Awesome.
you should
Thanks,
check out this cool product called Dropbox. You can upload files to it. Just saying.
It's coming tonight. I know. No, it's like seriously. So we recorded a podcast, so I captured that. I've not been able to to upload. So yeah.
Have a bar one. Get an extra hour out of your day.
Yeah.
For the 25-hour day.
Absolutely.
That's right.
But Seabach, jokes aside, thanks for joining us, man. It was a heavy 3 weeks, but it was good to have you here, man. So we look forward to next year.
Looking forward to it as well. And thanks everybody, and we'll see you online for the next discussion here. Bye, Brom.
Yes. Bye, Brom.
And Finn.
Bye, Brom. Bow, chicka, bow, bow. Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
Do it, Warren, do it.
Yeah.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow. Just
that's what it was like on the bus.
All the time.
All the time. Yeah. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Yes, yes.